Hi Libra, Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your Venus retrograde reading for you. Now, Venus retrograde begins on March 1st, 2025, and lasts for 6 months. It is an intense time, especially for us Libra, because we are ruled by Venus. So this is a really important reading. Now, if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps me out tremendously. So thank you so very much for doing so. And if you're interested in a private reading, a private personalized meditation, healing, or a gift card, there we go, check out my website, daneharttarot.com. It's listed in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. This cleanse and meditation will be accompanied by a loud sound. If you are sound sensitive, this is the time to mute the reading, let the healing energy wash over you, and unmute the reading when you see me pick up the singing bowl. So let's take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds, letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. All right, Libra, let's see what the tarot has to say. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. Oh, cool. Scorpio energy is crowning us. Now, if you're born on the cusp with Virgo, Virgo had Scorpio energy crowning them as well. So just be aware of that. Or if you're born on the cusp with Scorpio or have a lot of Scorpio in your chart, that's going to come through quite intensely. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. The Page of Wands, angels and spirit guides. The Nine of Pentacles, the Four of Pentacles, the Ace of Wands, angels and spirit guides. The Six of Pentacles, angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. The Five of Cups, Judgment, angels and spirit guides. The King of Cups, the Three of Wands, angels and spirit guides. The Queen of Pentacles, angels and spirit guides. The Eight of Cups and the Eight of Wands. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, let me make sure you can see it all. Can you? We'll move this down just a bit. I think that will be better for you guys. Perfect. Okay. You're going to be feeling a lot during this Venus retrograde. So just be prepared that I'm getting that song, hit me with your best shot, fire away. I'm a real tough cookie with a long history. I don't know what that song is, but I used to hear it on the radio all the time. So yeah, we're breaking little hearts like the one in me. So here, that energy is coming forward. And this is going to be a time of healing from all the hurts that you have been through, the intensity that you have been through. We're starting with the Death card. Now, we can see that as a bad sign. It's not a bad sign at all. I know people get spooked out when the Death card comes in, but it's Scorpio energy, time frame October 23rd to November 22nd. So if you were born on the cusp of Scorpio, if you have Scorpio in your chart, that comes through very, very powerfully. Scorpio energy, okay? It's also really good at secret keeping, all right? So there could be a lot of things that you've just kept to yourself. You're like, you know what? You don't need to know this. This is my secret. This is my thing. Has nothing to do with these people, out here. And I'm just going to keep it to myself. And the unfortunate thing is that it had a lot more to do with other people. And we thought we were handling it well or being stoic or whatever it was. And Libra, we need to release it. And that's going to be part of this Venus retrograde where it's like, it's going to come to the surface. And we are going to be connecting with spirit, which is going to be a little bit freaky for us. So an acknowledgement of that is going to be really important too. Scorpio energy sees around corners, okay? They see around the corners of things. And they very much embrace the secrets of it all, the mysticism of it all, the esotericness of it all. Nothing is black and white, white page, black print. That's how we like things, to be nice and clear, spelled out in in sans bold, just really clear and easy to see. And with the Scorpio energy, we're going to know that it just isn't. It's a lot more complicated, a lot more nuanced than maybe we want it to be or we would need it to be right now. But by acknowledging that and embracing that, we are going to be able to liberate our hearts and move ourselves forward. With the Page of Wands, we're becoming students of our passion and our fire. We are also connecting with our inner child self, to look at our passion, our fire, our tenacity, to see where it is that we want to be, but also to see where did we put out our fire along the way? When did we mold ourselves? Because Libra, we're really good at molding ourselves to be what other people want us to be, or to fit the idea of what other people, or what we think other people want us to be, or how other people want us to act. It's like, oh, this is the blueprint, I got this. And we can see that here with Judgment. We're coming out of a box that we put ourselves in, that somebody put us in, and we're like, you know what? No, it doesn't work for me anymore. And it brings us to the Nine of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles is standing in the right here, the right now, embracing our prosperity, our power, our tenacity, and really moving forward in a brilliance, in a power. And it's knowing that, yeah, there's tomorrow to contend with, and there's hard work to come. And yeah, yesterday was hard work as well. But right here, right now, I celebrate me. And as we celebrate ourselves during this Venus retrograde, and as we start to see what it is that we really want, because a Venus retrograde brings out, the issues in our relationships that we have had in romantic relationships, business relationships, friendships, family relationships. But it can also make it so the issues come out, right? But it can also make us a bit spicy, especially since this Venus retrograde begins in Aries. So we can be a bit intense. Aries is our sister sign. It brings out the best and it brings out the worst in us. So like a true sister, right? So we can get annoyed rather easily. So just being mindful about that, just knowing that the intensity of our ruling planet Venus being in retrograde can throw us out of balance, can kind of throw us off course. We feel it more intensely than others. Though do note that if you have Taurian energy in your life or in your chart, Taurus is also ruled by Venus. So, they also feel it really intensely as well. So just being aware of that. Now, we can see old flames coming back into our lives, old romances, old loves, and it's not so that we get back together with them, though that can happen for some of us. But it's so that we heal a wound. Whenever these old relationships come back, whenever certain situations come up where it's like, wow, that's awfully similar, even if it's not an old relationship, it's like, wow, that's awfully similar to, this that I've been through. It is to heal. And during a Venus retrograde, we are going to see that a lot of the chains that have bound us, the vampiric energy that has drained us, it comes forward during this time. And we can feel triggered, we can feel overwhelmed, but it's coming forward so that it can be released. And as it is released, God, Source, Spirit, however you see the divine, the universe, is handing us a gift of passion, of fire, of tenacity, of light. And we are illuminating this energy forward. This energy is illuminating us, and it's opening up the doors in ways that we hadn't expected it. We're taking it, and we're taking it like a child in wonderment. And it can burn us at times because kids in open flames, not a good mix. But it's also saying, how do I move forward in my passion and what I desire? How do I move forward in what, lights my heart and guides me forward? That guides me forward, but that I cannot ignore. A Libra ignoring their heart is like saying, I won't drink water anymore, or I won't drink anymore. That's it, I'm done. I'm good. Or I won't breathe. You can't do it. So you have to listen to your heart. It's an imperative for a Libra. And with the Six of Pentacles, you're coming into balance with yourself. You're coming into balance with what you want. You're also going to call out what's out of balance in love, in life, in what you want from your world and for yourself. And this can be a time where you go through a bit of a dry spell. Even if you're in a relationship, it can be a time where both of you are working really hard, or both of you are focusing on different things, or it just seems like you pass each other all the time. So here, be kind to yourself, because you can be in a dry spell and be single. You can be in a dry spell and be in a relationship. because both of you are going to be working through the intensity of emotions that a Venus retrograde brings up. And this is a time where it's about healing the heart and embracing the emotions. You know, it's really interesting. I've been working with an acupuncturist, and he said that the lungs and the heart work together, and the lungs protect the heart. So our voice protects our heart. And here, with the Five of Cups, we're starting to see things differently. And as air sign energy, my goodness, we love to talk, right? As a fellow air sign energy, I totally get this. And so here, we are going to see ourselves releasing a negative way that we've been looking at things. But we have to release it emotionally and release it verbally before we can move forward and find ourselves coming out of darkness, coming out of doubt and fear. But it's like it has to come up in our hearts, and then our lungs have to release it. So just be aware of that. Just be aware that we need to say things, write things down, connect with this energy. And we might not want to share it with a partner if we're in a relationship, or we might not want to share it with anybody, you know? So we can write it in a diary. We can talk to ourselves. We can meditate on this. We can look at the imagery that comes up, you know, as we're thinking about our happiness and our joy. And it brings us to the King of Cups. The King of Cups is water sign energy, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer, amplifying that Scorpio energy. But the King of Cups says, I lead by example. I lead with my heart, and my heart will guide me forward. And it brings us to different paths. You know, as we're listening to our heart during this Venus retrograde, because it won't shut up. I mean, it really won't. It's like, you have to listen to me. You have to hear this. And different paths start opening up, and it starts to ground us. We start to see like, oh my gosh, I need to water these seeds, right? We can't plant seeds if we don't water them, you know, because we can, and we can hope that it rains enough. But if we have a prosperous garden, we water it. And so here, with the Queen of Pentacles coming in, we start to look at how to tend to our garden, how to tend to what it is that we want. And we start to prioritize things. We start to say, you know what, this needs my attention. You know what, this needs my time. Oh, you know what, I need to look at this or at that. And we start to nurture. And as we do, we're walking away from what we no longer love. Things that we thought, you know what, I was supposed to be like this. When we started to learn about love, when we read the fairy tales, right? And when we bought into the movies, love looks like XYZ. And we're going to see that love doesn't have a specific look in a specific way. It's different for our souls. It's different for ourselves. You know, some people love to love, you know, very extravagantly and very like out loud and, you know, and just being the center of attention. Others like to love a lot more quietly. And neither one of those loves are wrong. And then once we start to walk away from what isn't right for us, everything starts moving so quickly. It's like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Things start really picking up. And we start to see our passion and our fire guiding us. But we start to say, I need to feed my heart, not just with another person, right? Being in love, but in all aspects of my life and love and connection. It moves us to our spirit message. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides, angels and spirit guides. This is the white swan, which is so pretty when it comes to love. And it says the power of divine grace is within you. There's so much more coming to you during this time. So much more that you are gaining an understanding of. And a Venus retrograde can seem so scary, right? People say, oh my gosh, you know, Dane, this is a terrible time to be single. There we go. I can say that word. That word is hard for me. I don't know why. And it's not. It's not a terrible time to be single. It's not a terrible time to be in a relationship. It is a time, though, where your heart will speak the truth. And if we're not listening to our hearts, my goodness, they'll make themselves known. They will. They will start breaking down doors and breaking down barriers so that we listen. Let's see what our chakra energy is, angels and spirit guides. Show me clearly. This is play. This is the heart chakra. Feed your heart. Feed your heart with play and with laughter. One of the best things that we can do is set a timer on our watch, on our phone, and sit in meditation. You know, we can stand in meditation if we're not big sitters, you know, and just smile. Just focus on having a smile on your face and breathing for 5 minutes. You know, maybe we can't do it, maybe 3 minutes, maybe 2 minutes, you know, but I would suggest 5 minutes of just smiling. Because when you start, you can be like, wow, this smile feels really weird on my face. But the more you do it, the longer you do it, the more comfortable it becomes, and the more it raises your energy vibration. And it moves you then to the energy to be mindful of. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. This is the 9 of Wands. You feel like it's been one battle after another after another. It's been overwhelming and it's been intense. And this can be how we start to see love, right? Love is a battlefield. I have to fight, right? That's the song that we started with, right? That Spirit brought. Love is a battlefield. And it can be, right? It can be. But moving forward in our heart and being true to what we love is important. And yes, it can be draining because it can feel like we're going against the tide of the world. But as we step into the truth of us, we start to mold our world, and we can reject things and say, you know what, that's not the world I want to live in. That's not the way I want to exist. This is what's right for me. And you might see that things fall away during this Venus retrograde because they're not feeding your heart and they're draining you and they're overwhelming you. And you are choosing freedom. You are choosing freedom of soul and power of self. And you are being led by passion, right? By your fire, but also by nurturing what you want to create in your life, what you want to foster within yourself. And this can be the first time in a really long time, Libra. You said, what about me? You're going to be really drawn to the gentleness in people, not the bravado, not the, oh, look what I can do. Yeah, that can be flashy and nice at times, right? But it's the gentleness in people, and it's their down-to-earthness. It's the different ways they show they care, and the different ways they sacrifice for the loving community of others. And that's going to make a difference. Like, you notice this, and it makes a difference. It raises your energy vibration. It's like, oh, wow, I didn't see that before, but now I do. It moves us to our subconscious spirit message. And I love how you have the white swan and now you have the white owl. So white is going to be a very powerful color for you during this time. Okay, white also represents the crown chakra. All right, so yeah, crowning your head, like seeing yourself crowned. You can even visualize putting on a crown made of, white gold or pearls or, mother of pearl, something like that, to keep the white theme in there. And you put it on your head to amplify your crown chakra, amplify your mind and your connection. Humming, that activates your vagus nerve. That helps, calm you and embrace your heart chakra. You can also tap from your collarbone down to your torso if you want to really help calm your energy and align yourself. Grounding mats, being outside, you can get a grounding mat off of Amazon, being outside, connecting with the earth. But with the white owl, subconsciously, it says the wisdom and messages of the divine are within you. And this says the power of divine grace is within you. A lot of your own power is coming forward during this Venus retrograde, and it's surprising you. It's taking you by surprise. It moves us then, Libra, to, again, the heart chakra coming forward, and this is the inner child. When have you shut up your inner child? We all do it. We all sit there and look back at ourselves and say, oh, well, I wasn't the prettiest, the coolest, the smartest, the this is, the that is, or maybe we were, and childhood was so great, and then disappointment came later on. That also happens with people. See it all the time. Here, it's how do you need to connect with your inner child? How do you need to connect with your heart self? How do you need to bring that love forward and tell that child within you, I love you. And that there is no longer any part of your life, your soul, yourself that you do not love, that you do not respect, that you do not care for. And it brings us then to the energy to be mindful of during this Venus retrograde. And it brings up fights that we have been in before, romantic relationships that haven't gone right, trials and tribulations, things that trigger us and bring us back to a place mentally that we might not even be aware of, emotionally, that we might not even be aware of, but where we felt small, when we felt outnumbered, when we felt overwhelmed. And it's like, oh, I can't do this. And during this Venus retrograde, it's like, oh yeah, you can. And what's more, you will. You will rise in love in a way that is surprising, but also, Libra, in a way that feels like home. Because for a Libra, to embrace love, to embrace Venus, that is coming home for you. That is embracing your joy. And it is living your purpose. And so you will also see during this time that your soul's purpose comes forward more and more. Your karmic path can become a lot more clear to you. And it brings us then to the magician. Yes, you stand before the altar of your existence. As above, so below. As you believe it, so it becomes. And you start to see your worth. You start to claim your gifts, right? The gift of passion, the gift of clarity of voice, the gift of prosperity, the gift of love, the gift of of bounty. And you see yourself moving forward, knowing that you have every right to be here, and knowing that you are astoundingly powerful. And subconsciously, you feel a little bit braver, a little bit bolder, a little bit more aligned. All right, Libra. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power, intensity, and beauty of this Venus retrograde and of ourselves. So let's take a nice deep breath in. Oh, this is the time to mute it if you're sensitive. Exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Libra. May blessings and prosperity always be with you. I love you all. Have a blessed Venus retrograde. Bye.